Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Good evening and welcome to the 2025 Big Mountain Hockey Classic. My name is Dale Genther. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for the first installment of 4 home games here for Colorado State University's men's Division II team. First up tonight, they're going to be taking on the University of Texas Longhorns. Both teams here coming into tonight with a lot of ambition and a lot of jump here out of the gate. We saw a lot of that during warm-ups. And both teams ready to put on some fun and exciting hockey here for you. CSU comes into tonight's action, a mark of 1-17 on the season. University of Texas, a mark of 12-6, 2-1 so far over the course of this campaign. Both teams making sure that they have their final preparations made before they are given the green light to go out on the ice. CSU being coached by Doug Sheridan behind the bench, and the coaching tandem of Kyle Holloway and Philip Heese have the duties for the Longhorns. As we are just about set to get underway, we will be right back with opening puck drop here in just a moment. Thanks for staying tuned. Both teams now hitting the ice here ahead of opening puck drop here. Game 1 of 4, like we said, for CSU and University of Texas here in this Big Mountain Hockey Classic. CSU, their first game here tonight. Tomorrow they take on Dakota College at 8 p.m. here at Epic Ice Arena. Same thing goes with Boise State University, who's in town for Sunday at 4 p.m. local time. And then they wrap the whole thing up with a 10:30 a.m. start local time against University of Cincinnati. Thanks for sticking tuned with us, staying up late here on this soon-to-be frigid weekend here outside of Fort Collins, Colorado. Already a lot of snow falling on the ground. Thanks to everyone here for making the trip out, who is in person with us tonight. Texas, the Longhorns have 4 games. They have this one here against the Rams tonight. They take on Michigan State University Saturday at 11:30 a.m. at the Promenade Ice Center. They'll be at Greeley Ice House for Sunday and Monday's games. Sunday coming up against Bowling Green State University, and then Monday at Weber State University as both teams get set for the national anthem. A little bit of technical difficulty going on in between the penalty boxes there. Might be time for an impromptu performance. Although I don't think the viewing public would be very much obliged to that. So we'll just sing it silently in our heads. Well done. That was tremendous. Officials getting in a huddle ahead of the opening puck drop here as we are set to kick off the 2025 Big Mountain Hockey Classic here in the ACHA. 8:03 local time. Both teams jumping up and down, chomping at the bit, ready for tonight's action here. CSU going to send in Jackson O'Brien for the faceoff against Dante Pierre of University of Texas, and this game is underway. Starting off, Barrett Ott on the reverse, up and through, ends up on the stick of Jackson Cornett, who will accelerate into the zone. A wrister that floats wide of Jesse Reinhardt, who is in between the pipes for the visiting Longhorns. Board battle there. 2-2 in that scrum. Emerging with it is Ott. A little chip pass up and just enough to get it out of the zone. On track for a streaking Dante Pierre. Floating down the wing of Wrister on the blocker pad of Caleb Bartholomew, who has the starting nod tonight from head coach Doug Sheridan as he melts this rebound with 42 seconds gone by in the opening period. Off this draw, wrist shot blocked by Aiden Schmidt. Follow-up chance and a pad save by Bartholomew. South of the goal line, that pass is intercepted by Schmidt, and he will start away 2 against 3. Out wide for the winging Aubrey Prime Morales, who's making his debut with CSU Division II here in this game. As icing is washed out, Bartholomew will tap this along for a turning Chase Heckerson. And this one's played the length of the ice, wide of Reinhardt for icing against the Rams. As we've talked about, both teams have a busy schedule coming up this weekend with this exhibition showcase. So it's interesting to see the energy level that both teams are going to play with here tonight and beyond. As a long wrister from the point floats wide off the stick of Lucas Robbins. In there on the forecheck is Landon Zeng, bottled up there by Heckerson. Emerging with it is Prime Morales, dumped in, reversing course on a rink-wide pass. It finds its way to Owen Just. He's taken down on the boards. Silverstein there to help as it's lobbed back to center again by CSU and down for another icing. $18-11 to go in the first period. Alexander Furton digging in there for the Longhorns. He lost that draw. Comes all the way around to the point. It's held in by Barrett Ott. Down low. It's Alden Morris who's making his Longhorn debut tonight. Native of Dallas, Texas. Morris double teamed there up against the boards. And Nate Sulkis will spin it around back behind Bartholomew's net. Long wrister deflected and a pad save by Bartholomew. That one changed pace on its way to the CSU net. Good lift check there supplied by Adam Takix, and he was unable to hold on to it, but he keeps the play alive momentarily here for Texas. At the point, Ott with a wrister, blocked. Activating from the blue line now. Support coming, but CSU emerges with the biscuit. Kirchner-Slaw, one-on-one, into the middle. Lets a wrister go, and it's deflected wide. Good defensive play there by Elliott Kaplan. Puck at the side of the net, guarded by Jesse Reinhard. Pinched in, kept in in the slot, and digging for it was Tyler Shawns, but he was unable to get a shot away. Morris one-on-one. He was well defended out of his own zone by Jackson Cornett. A sharp angle bid that floats wide of the cage. Regathered by Lucas Robbins. Played down low on a twister pass from south of the goal line there. Goes unanswered. And that one is shoved off the glass and out by CSU's Tyler Shawns. Behind his own net is Lucas Robbins using the net for some cover. He'll outlet with the help of another newcomer, Zay London, making his Longhorns debut as well, as this puck ends up off the safety netting here for a whistle. Both teams still getting a feel for one another here in the early going. Shots on goal advantage favoring University of Texas so far. Not anything that really jumps off the page at you from either team yet to this point. Connor Sleds, a rink-wide feed for Jacob Zier. Puck is played off the glass, kept in by Cornett. Kept alive. Dante Pierre will reverse the flow, leaving it back in his own zone. CSU holds the line. Compliments of Wilder Outman. Played down the length of the ice by the Longhorns for an icing. CSU getting things together here for an offensive zone draw now. To the right of Reinhardt's net. In there to take the face-off is Jackson O'Brien. For the hometown CSU Rams. He did not get the better of his opposite there on that draw, as this one's flung off the window and down the length for another icing. Just under 4.5 minutes gone by here in the opening stanza. O'Brien will have another go at this offensive zone faceoff, this time on his strong side. Didn't get that one either. Robbins using the boards, didn't get it through. cornet. A wrister was blocked. Off the wall, Jared Barton keeping it hot on the outside. Braden Stevenson will use the glass. He will play it back to center where his mates can get a change. Revolving back through center. This one's fenced out of the air by Eric DeBrixino. Pass back to the point. A long wrister and an easy pad save there for Reinhardt from Tyler Vaughn. Texas able to get their things back in order as that one nearly takes out a member of the CSU lineup from on the bench. Puck out of play for a whistle. We have 14:42 to go. Puck to face off to take place at center ice. Aubrey Prime Morales from his skate to his stick and then off to the side to the right of Jesse Reinhardt. Covering up at the point position is Vaughn. Our wrister blocked. Into the deep slot. Gathered in and played clear. Puck bouncing around in the paraphernalia of David Thiel, and he makes a nice move to gain entry to the offensive zone before being hauled down. Centering pass coming from Prime Morales. Another centering try on the backhand, and a big save by Jesse Reinhardt, his first tester of the evening. Another face-off in here to the left of Jesse Reinhardt. Tyler Vaughn with some fancy moves at the blue line. A long wrister through traffic. Goes wide. University of Texas's Adam Takex braces for the collision. A long wrister from in the slot goes over top of the head of the Longhorn goaltender before being reclaimed by the Rams. Connecting the dots through center. That was Kirchner Slaw, who was relieved of the puck. Pass turned over. Slaw gets it right back and fires, and a good save by Reinhardt again. On the outlet, a good defensive play, a good stick check there in place by Nate Sulkis. University of Texas again. A lateral pass to gain entry to the zone. They'll have to go cross corner to chase it down. Sulkis on the fly for Sleds. Sees this one reversed by Lucas Robbins. And now on the outlet, Zay London one-on-one. To the outside, and Luke Hansen's there to put a good body check on him. London still with the puck. Curl and drag into the slot. Looks for help. There's a scramble there. They dig for it. And finally skating away with it is Zachary Carleton. Rink-wide feed. Down to a knee there to block that pass was Robbins. Now on the entry, a couple of orange jerseys collide, and now CSU with a little bit of open ice through center again. On the run, relieved of the puck is Sulkis there, and now a one-on-one opportunity for Andrew Kungle, who cuts in. On the rebound, he scores! A nice curl and drag play there. He slid into the Caleb Bartholomew, who's putting up a protest. But just like that, University of Texas is on the board first, and still hearing some complaints from the CSU goaltender. Officials gathering outside the penalty box glass, making sure everything is tracked correctly. And the coaching staff for CSU still has not heard a satisfactory answer to that one. But the referees say play on, and so the visiting University of Texas Longhorns get the 1-0 jump, and now it looks like the Rams are going to be assessed a bench minor penalty. The referees have heard a little bit too much from head coach Doug Sheridan of the CSU Rams, and so now they're going to send Nate Sulkis to serve the bench minor. So after going up 1-0 now, the Longhorns have an opportunity to extend their lead here with 12:14 to go here in just the first period. Face off at center. O'Brien wins a draw. Now CSU on the penalty kill for the first time tonight, after going down 1-0 on a goal from Andrew Kungle. Rotate out to the center point. Barrett Ott, a wrister through traffic, stopped by Bartholomew. The rebound played, stays in play. Along the half boards, Elliott Kaplan gets downhill, had his shot blocked by Cornett. Drage on the entry, keeps it to the outside. Long wrister from Ott, pad save by Bartholomew. Hustling to keep the play alive is Silverstein, he does. Side of the net, backhand chance, shoved up and out of play by Alexander Furton for a whistle. I don't believe that caught the CSU goaltender, but that was a great look on some hustle to keep the play alive in that offensive zone possession. .113 remaining on the bench minor for CSU as the puck is played clear by Aubrey Prime Morales. Back to retrieve is Barrett Ott. He'll restart out of his own zone. On the wing for Silverstein. Rink wide for Kaplan. Bracketed there by Aubrey Morales. Prime Morales, excuse me. As that puck exits the zone. At the late offside against the Longhorns, now washed out as Colorado with a chance to make a free clear. This one goes on goal, rebound, score! Aiden Schmidt shorthanded on the hustle play, and CSU has tied it. Never say die attitude from CSU and Aiden Schmidt. Ties the game at 1. His 14th goal of the season. Aiden Schmidt played his high school hockey at Cherry Creek. And he sees his team level the score at 1 while down a man. Dante Pierre's pass cut off at the entry by Schmidt, and now this is offside against the University of Texas. Nearly halfway through the first period. If you're joining us a little bit late, Andrew Kungle has a goal. But he was recently matched by Aiden Schmidt of CSU, so we're all tied up as now there's an odd man break opportunity into the zone. And good defense there as that was Alden Morris, who is one of 2 players making his debut with University of Texas tonight, who was played well to the far wall. CSU now able to tag up, get back to full strength. Morris will dump it in wide of Bartholomew. Retracing his steps is Luke Hansen. It gets back out to center. Tyler Kunkel sees this one go in wide of Reinhardt. And now dicing his way back through center is Dante Pierre. On the outlet, this long wrist shot is easy pickings for Caleb Bartholomew, and he will squeeze it with 9:45 to go in the first period. Offensive zone draw control earned here by the Longhorns, and another wrist shot into the glove of Caleb Bartholomew. That one coming from range, courtesy of Barrett Ott. Tie up off the draw. Again, ends up out of play for a whistle. Or check that. That was, again, into the glove of the CSU netminder. Another draw, one back to Barrett Ott. Along the wall, it's dummied on through by Zay London. Nate Sulkus is there to cut it off, but he overstepped there and lost the puck. On the re-retrieval, he will use the glass to get it out down the length of the ice for an icing against the Rams. Both teams going back and forth here in this first period. Loose puck off the draw. Patrolling there in the deep slot was Tyler Kunkel for CSU. Kirchner-Slaw down the wing, a long wrister. Angled aside by Landon Zeng. Out wide. Silverstein has a 3-on-2. Wrister on the way. Score! Charles Drage following up on the 3-on-2, and just like that, Texas restores the lead at 2-1. That one went right through the blocking glove arm and the body of Caleb Bartholomew. You had a clear look at it from up here. As we are right back to seeing Texas take the lead. Colorado again looking for a response. Ian Silverstein picked off by his opposite number 3 there, Jackson Cornett, who took a dive as he went around behind the net. A delayed penalty call coming against University of Texas as that wrist shot's blocked and touched up by Robbins. CSU now will get their first chance on the power play. Tripping is the call. Going against, I want to say that's Braden Stevenson who's there in the box. Face-off controlled by the Rams. At the point, playing catch there was Outman. His wrist shot's blocked. Keep it south of the goal line. At the point, out for Cornett, who drew the penalty initially. He overskates, but he's given some support there by Jared Baton. Long one-timer blocker save. Follow-up chance and another stop there by Reinhardt. His follow-up opportunity off the stick of Jackson O'Brien. .21 seconds gone in the tripping penalty to Braden Stevenson. CSU on their first manpower advantage of the night. Winning the draw back to Outman. Keeping it on the perimeter now. Outman and O'Brien trade places. They again circle the wagons and again keep it out wide. Wrister on the way, off a skate, and back out to center. Jackson O'Brien didn't get that shot through, and so it forces the Rams to retreat. Centering pass picked off. Play clear. O'Brien will see this one chopped back in by Elliott Kaplan, wasting more time for the CSU power play, which now just has a minute left in it. Out of his own zone comes Jared Barton, knifing to the middle before he's taken down. A snapshot and a kick-out save by Reinhardt. Barton regathers at the point. Tyler Vaughn playing catch with Barton. Wrist shot from Vaughn gets blocked. Rebound knifed away. And that one goes off the head of Coffin. Trevor Coffin, number 16 in the orange. Around the horn it comes. Jackson O'Brien giving some ground up to Aubrey Prime Morales. Slot feed. Another wrister goes off a skate. Jackson O'Brien. Rink wide feed looking for Schmidt, who just came off the bench. Into the space there, and a wrist shot gloved by Reinhardt. That one coming off the stick of Tyler Vaughn. Now with just 12 seconds on the manpower advantage for the home team as we get a whistle. Aiden Schmidt for the draw. He lost that one and is launched up the wall and out, where Tyler Vaughn will retreat as you can hear the goalie stick of Caleb Bartholomew signaling that the penalty time is up. Now, knifing into space on the backhand was Schmidt, and that was stopped by Reinhardt. Vaughn keeps it in. Jared Barton on the hard around. A stuff attempt at the short side of the post. Rebound still loose there. Prime Morales across, and a wrist shot that goes in. The whistle had blown. The net was knocked off its moorings there behind Jesse Reinhardt, and thus the reason for the disallowing of the goal. Face-off to come inside the CSU offensive zone now with 6:08 to go in this first period. Officiating crew making sure the net is properly back on its moorings there before we get set for this next draw. Played clear off the glass back into CSU territory where it's claimed by Luke Hansen. Indirect feed is cut off. Drage had to make sure his line mates were tagged up there before going back into the zone, so CSU again regathers with Nate Sulkis. Another pass clicks off a boot, and it's a rewind opportunity for Ian Silverstein, who is relieved of the puck. This one deflects up off of the linesman and out of play, and another whistle will come in neutral territory. With 5:35 to go, both teams making wholesale line changes. Face-off control earned by the Rams, giving some ground at center. Tyler Shans played it into Tyler Kunkel, who was greeted quickly there by a couple of Longhorn defenders. Now he's without his stick. Dug free there by the Longhorns. And charging ahead is Dante Pierre, zigging and zagging into the zone. Controlling out wide, a backhand saucer pass floats through the slot. Played off the glass by Outman. And out to center, where this one is golfed up and into the rafters, into the CSU penalty box for a whistle. Tyler Shans against Dante Pierre for the draw. Pierre gets this one. Winding it up is Lucas Robbins. Plays it out wide, intended for Andrew Kungle, one of the goal scorers for the Longhorns here in this first period. Wilder Outman making a couple of moves through center, out of his own zone. Now a little toe drag there, not fooling Andrew Kungle. Resetting for CSU, it's Jackson Cornett. Played up off the glass, that stayed in play. And so CSU has another chance to regroup. Cornett over skates. CSU will have to redo it. Stretch pass goes off the skate of Kirchner Slaw, having to reverse his field. And Dante Pierre will wind it up for the Longhorns out of his own zone. Couple of head fakes there. Ran into a stick of Zachary Carleton before being able to chip it in deep. Prime Morales working with Tyler Vaughn on this trip. Rink wide pass spots Jacob Zier, and a wrist shot is gathered up by Jesse Reinhardt for a freeze. .353 to go in the first period. CSU gets control of the draw. Tyler Vaughn with a long wrist shot goes all the way around. Prime Morales taps it back whence it came. South of the goal line, surfacing there is Jared Barton. Into the slot, his opposite number 24, Barrett Ott, emerges with the biscuit before putting it off the glass and right back into the slot. Ott will try it again, this time with the help of Scott Mitchell, who lost the puck. Prime Morales edging in from the point position. A pass that comes all the way through. Tyler Vaughn into the slot. Good save there. Follow-up chance, and it was just jammed wide. Back out to the point. Pass from Dennis White goes on the wrong side of Prime Morales. CSU going to have to go back in and get it. Vaughn keeps it on the boards. Activating from point position is Prime Morales. Texas plays it off the glass, still unable to get it clear. Some sustained zone time here for the home team. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first period. Scott Mitchell met there by a couple of white jerseys. Jared Barton again escapes with the puck. Barton gets his head up. Saucer pass intended for White in the slot goes unanswered. Fresh changes on out there for the guys in white. Sulkis is covering up at the point position. Gathered in by Barrett Ott, and he will hoist this back to center. And in the foot race, it's going to be icing against the University of Texas. Sustained offensive zone time there for the CSU Rams on that shift. Over a minute of zone time. Scott Mitchell, who's been out there for a long time, chopped it and he coughed it up. Dave Thiel sees this played back down low to Tyler Shonzen on through. Aiden Schmidt is next. Centering pass and a kick save by Jesse Reinhardt, one of his best of the period. Heavy hitting intensifies in front of the penalty box doors as Colorado looks to get set back up in the offensive zone again. Sulkis has this deflected in by Schmidt, so there's no icing as we drift below 2 minutes to go in the first period. With momentum through center comes Charles Drage. 3-on-2 out wide. A heavy hit back in front, and Drage mishandled the puck. He almost had a vacant net, and the whistle comes now with 100 seconds to go in the opening frame with the net behind Caleb Bartholomew knocked off its mooring. Offensive zone draw controlled by the Longhorns, but given back out to center as that pass clicked off of Robbins' stick. Aiden Schmidt has the goal for CSU. If you're joining us a little bit late, his goal bracketed by 2 strikes from University of Texas's Andrew Kungle and Charles Drage. This pass deflected up, hit by a high stick, and so as soon as the Rams touch up, will be another whistle with now 70 ticks remaining in the opening period. Face off to the left of Caleb Bartholomew. Quick wrister! And an answer there by Bartholomew, as that was another one off of Charles Drage, looking for his second of the night. University of Texas comes into this game 8 players averaging over a point per game. And Drage is one of them. Moving his feet through center is Kirchner Slaw. 2 against 4. Throw one into space intended for Kunkel. It goes unanswered. Lucas Robbins with some get up and go. Met there by the back check of Shans. And now CSU will start again the other way. Only as far as Braden Stevenson. Lob back in. Cross corner. Played off the glass by Cornett. Only as far as Matthew Kolb, who gets a shot on goal, which is swallowed up by Caleb Bartholomew with just 28.3 to go in the first period. Off the draw, Dante Pierre stopping and starting. Plays it around the wall. First to it there is going to be Tyler Vaughn on an outlet pass intended to spring Jacob Zier. He was well defended as he takes his man heavily into the glass. Around the boards, it's Barrett Ott. Hawked all the way from there by Connor Sleds. And he will use the boards to get it out to center. Prime Morales is patrolling, and that will do it for this first period. CSU and the University of Texas kicking off this 2025 Big Mountain Hockey Classic. The Longhorns are the ones that lead it 2-1 after one on the backs of goals by Andrew Kungle and Charles Drage. We'll get you back for some intermission activity after these moments. Welcome back. First intermission here at the Big Mountain Hockey Classic with the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Dale Gentner here with you at the in-between periods. We talked about it a little bit before the start of the game. Both teams are the first of 4 contests they'll be participating in over the course of this weekend. CSU, of course, going to be here in this building for all 4 of them. Tonight against the University of Texas. They have Dakota College, in the building tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Boise State will be here Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. local time, and then they will round it all out with the game against the University of Cincinnati Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. For the visiting University of Texas Longhorns, they'll be here tonight against CSU. They'll be taking on Michigan State University Saturday at 11:30 a.m. at the Promenade Ice Center. Then they'll be in Greeley at the Ice House to take on Bowling Green State University Sunday night at 7 p.m. And they'll round out their trip against Weber State University Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. local time start. Both teams had a pretty good pace to that first period. Couple of goals in the early going. Andrew Kungle got the scoring started for the visiting Longhorns with another goal for him. He has 2 years in the Dallas Stars U18 AAA organization under his belt, and this is his 3rd season with University of Texas. He has 37 points in his career. But after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or a bench minor assessed to the CSU Rams, it would be Aiden Schmidt who would tie the game on a shorthanded tally off of a rebound given up by Jesse Reinhard. He has 20 points for CSU in last season's game. He started his high school hockey at Cherry Creek. He tied the game at 1, but a few moments later, it would be Charles Drage with his goal that would put the Longhorns back on top. In 15 games this season, entering tonight, he had 27 points, 14 goals, and 13 helpers prior to tonight. 4 of those goals coming on the power play. So we'll look forward to the start of the second period here soon. You've been listening to the Big Mountain Hockey Classic on Price Productions. I'm Dale Genther. We got to go pay some bills. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Second period about to get underway here at the Epic Ice Arena. Dale Genther here for the first of 4 games for CSU at this Big Mountain Hockey Classic being presented by the American Collegiate Hockey Association. The period of the long change is set to unfold as Caleb Bartholomew has navigated deep into enemy territory. Same can be said of Jesse Reinhardt, who was sharp in that first period, made several good stops. So too did the CSU netminder. Game puck is about set. Last couple of orange jerseys making their way onto the ice surface and into their bench before we begin period 2. In case you're joining us late, the University of Texas Longhorns have a 2-1 lead over the CSU Rams. Andrew Kungle and Charles Drage bracketing a tally, a shorthanded goal by Aiden Schmidt, and that has you all caught up as for the scoring activities in the first 20 minutes. Out there to take the opening draw to begin the second period is Jared Baton of CSU, matching up against Dante Pierre of University of Texas, who ends up winning the faceoff back to Barrett Ott, who will slide this one in wide of Bartholomew, who thinks it's icing. It's waved out, though, by the linesman. This one pops way up into the air, right into the deep slot, before it's gathered in by white-jerseyed CSU and played off the glass the length of the ice for an icing. Just 19 seconds gone by in that sequence there to begin this second period. Again, it's a long change, so both teams, both coaching staffs are going to have to be more disciplined with the personnel they put out there. Both sets of lines are going to have to be more aware situationally of when they should and should not, when they have the opportunity to go get fresh skaters on. As busting through center here is Wilder Outman on the drag through between his skates. He lost a puck on the handle there away from Kaplan. Barrett Ott plays it to safety. Braden Stevenson plays it clear, and now it's picked up on the run by Pierre. Pierre on the strong side, gets downhill, centering pass, goes right through Andrew Kungle, was on the wrong side of him. Back the other way for CSU is Jackson O'Brien. He flips this one in. It's angled aside by Reinhardt. Stevenson into space there, a 2-on-2 rush. Started out there by Barrett Ott. Getting to the outside, centering pass, knocked away. Follow-up chance, they score! From the sharp angle, Andrew Kungle with his second of the game. And it's a 3-1 lead for the Longhorns. Everything seemed to be under control there off that rush by the Longhorns, about after that puck clicked off of Nate Sulkis and ended up kind of at a sharp angle. Kungle threw it at the net. You said you never know what's going to happen. And he ends up finding pay dirt for his second of the night. And it looks like there's been a timeout called by head coach Doug Sheridan of the Rams. Kungle's second goal of the game at the exact 1 minute mark of the second period. Referees over at the timekeeper's table making sure everything is situated on that front. As you get a look at the conversations taking place kind of between both benches. And that'll do enough for the strategy meeting. Both teams back to their respective sides of center, both goaltenders meandering their way back to their own respective nets. And play resumes. CSU in on the attack. A diving defensive play made there by Kolb. As Drage recirculates. A rink-wide pass from Stevenson goes wide. And now CSU with a chance to counterattack. Prime Morales looking for a trailer. He's got one. A long wrist shot gets blocked. That one was David Thiel who let that one go. As Nate Sulkis regathers, he'll launch this one back in as CSU tags up. Owen Just overskates the puck. Into space. Schmidt gets a heavy hit there levied on him by Matthew Kolb. Much to the delight of the bench for Texas as they are guilty of icing the puck here in the second period. CSU back in the offensive zone for another face-off. Tyler Sean's digging in there against Charles Drage, who wins the face-off. Kolb doesn't get it out on the first chance. Bailed out a little bit there by Owen Just, and Prime Morales will backhand this one in. It goes off of a shin pad and behind the bench for CSU. Picked up by backup goaltender Josiah Dro there. Two minutes into the second period, CSU gets control of the draw. Aubrey Prime Morales with a long wrister that gets in on goal, and a stop there by Reinhardt, and it was cleared to safety there by Barrett Ott and company. Now Ott looking on the offensive, gets to the goal line. A centering pass clicks into the slot, goes all the way back to the point before being regathered by Tyler Sean's. Surrounded there by orange jerseys. Coming away with it, there is Alden Morris. His wrist shot's blocked. Played up the wall. Ott bluffs the slapper. Played it down the wall. It's captured by Prime Morales and played cross corner. Landon Zeng with Kirchner Slaw drawing a bead on him. A pass comes out to center and back in. It's offside against the Rams. That one was off the skate of Tyler Kunkel, but the puck had just barely crossed the blue line before coming back in, which is grounds for a whistle. Face-off control belongs to Texas. This pass comes on through. Icing is washed out, so play continues. With Zay London burrowing in there for the Longhorns. Getting helped out there by Brandon Kungle. On the reverse is Wilder Outman. He will look through center. A pass clicks off the stick of Connor Sleds before being lobbed back in to Jesse Reinhardt's neighborhood. Picked up by Carleton. His pass to the points gets blocked. Tries to throw it in front. And on patrol there was Matthew Kolb defensively. Into space. Brandon Kungle with a little get up and go. He will play chip and chase into the wall. Greeted quickly there by Jackson Cornett. Cornett sees London skate away with this. Gets bracketed there, and CSU will chop it back out to center once more. Delayed offside there for CSU. Zier going to go just trade for a shift change at the bench. A rink-wide pass, just a bit too strong for Kungle, but he's able to beat out the icing with Wilder Outman hot on his tail. Cornett beaten to the puck there. He gets a little bit of help from Barton, who will play clear. Fancy footwork there coming from Connor Sleds. He didn't go very far. Barton from the sharp angle, a wrist shot pass that was blocked. Kept in at the point by Barnett. Long wrister well above the head of Jesse Reinhardt. Picked up by a swooping Dante Pierre. Pierre with his head up through neutral, 3-on-3 to the outside. Going right to the goal on the backhand. Stopped by Bartholomew. Rebound loose. It's up at the corner, and it's played to safety at the wall. Barrett Ott there will reverse, trying to keep the play alive. He was unable to, and so he will have to give back ground back through center. Pierre floats one all the way across for Braden Stevenson. Hatcheted down low. Dante Pierre trying to keep the play alive. CSU escapes with the biscuit. Jared Barton overlapping to his backhand. Spins a pass to the front intended for O'Brien. It was just a little bit ahead of him. Barton regathers, keep it down low. Backhand pass to the front, goes unanswered once more. And now Ian Silverstein has a chance to move out the other way with legs before Owen Just is mashed into the wall by Luke Hansen. Played in cross corner by Jackson O'Brien. CSU getting fresh folks over the bench now with 14:30 to go in the second period. Long stretch, just bounces over the tape of Silverstein, and that unable to get possession, but he is able to beat the icing call. Barrett Ott covering up at the point position. Down low for Silverstein. On the cycle for Drage, who was knifing to the front. He lost the handle there at the last moment. Aubrey Prime Morales' pass picked off at the blue line. Owen Just in the slot, unable to stick a fork in it, and so CSU is able to play clear once more. Charles Drage again into space for an accelerating Silverstein one-on-one. Goes around the world, and a pad save by Bartholomew. Follow-up gathered in. A sharp angle shot from Drage. Held in at the line by Matthew Kolb. Into the slot. Out wide for Ott, and his wrister is blockered aside by Bartholomew. CSU unable to get it out again. Another wrister off the toe of Bartholomew. Third chance in the slot. There's Alden Morris, who was denied there point blank by Bartholomew. Now a potential odd man break for CSU the other way, 2-on-1. Wrister on the way, stopped there by Reinhardt, and he'll squeeze. A wrister coming from David Thiel, and now some pushing and shoving in the University of Texas crease. Opening up here in this second period, both teams attacking with a lot of speed. Now 6:41 gone by in the middle stanza. And certainly a lot of even more speed and pace to this second period that we've seen from even back in the first period. Retrieving the puck is Alexander Furton. Reversing course for Elliott Kaplan. Furton gets it back, plays it up the wall, finds Adam Takix. And he was unable to actually reel that in, and thus will be an icing for the Longhorns. Just past the top of the hour here in the Big Mountain Hockey Classic. Game 1 of 4 for CSU. A wrist shot gets deflected up and out of play off the stick of Outman, and so we'll do it again. Another draw gets won back by Tyler Shawns. Stopping and starting another wrist shot, deflects into the slot. Played to the wall, but still not out. Shawns off the cycle, intended for Slaw. Slaw rink wide out to Outman. Shawns getting crunched there along the wall. A centering pass gets collected by Takix, and now the Longhorns are away. Long wrister, a pad save for Caleb Bartholomew coming from the stick of Furton, excuse me. Another wrister patted down by Bartholomew all the same. A little chip pass there, catching Jackson Cornett with a little bit of speed before he is met there by Barrett Ott. One-on-one, a wrist shot from Slaw goes wide. Barrett Ott looking to accelerate now into a counterattack, 2-on-1. Barrett Ott to his backhand. A stick save there by Bartholomew. He is pressured quickly, and now there's a whistle. Looks like the net behind Caleb Bartholomew has come dislodged. And so we will have another face-off here, this time in front of the CSU net now with 12:02 to go in the second period. Both teams waiting to get the draw set. Controls earned off the stick of Carleton. Accelerating out of his own zone is Nate Sulkus. Sulkus moves laterally into the offensive zone, jetting to the outside. Lost control of the puck there for a moment, so he'll look for some help with Sleds covering up at point position. Barrett Ott taps it along, off through the stick of Zay London and through the stick of Hanson, and so it's an opportunity for Texas to advance. Connor Sleds jetting back through neutral, getting to the outside. Lots of moves, trying to cut to the slot before he is stood up by Barrett Ott. Rebounds loose in the slot. They stumble and trip over it, and it's lodged into the skates there of Reinhardt, and it was slash delivered at Reinhardt. It looked like Connor Sleds there got an extra chop, and the referee has caught that, and so it looks like it'll be another penalty call coming against the CSU Rams. Going back on the penalty kill. You can see there from the official, the slashing is the call. And they're going to be taking Zachary Carleton to the sin bin, it looks like. He doesn't like the call, but he's not going to win that argument. So it's the second power play opportunity of the game for University of Texas. They're 0 for 1 so far. They've also given up a shorthanded goal so far in tonight's game. Aiden Schmidt's lone goal for the Rams came while a man down. Jackson O'Brien to take the draw for the shorthanded Rams. Drage with a couple of fancy moves out of the corner to escape the pressure. Ott switched the point of attack for Owen Just. Back to Ott. Now around the wall for Drage. Drage skip a man for Owen Just once more. His pass blocked and cleared by Jared Barton. Forcing Texas to regroup. This is Owen Just. He'll gain the zone, working out wide away from Prime Morales. Takes it for a ride, and now we'll get set up in power play formation with Ott center point. Then to Drage on the weak side. Back to Ott. Long wrister through traffic. Stopped there by Bartholomew, and he'll squeeze nearly halfway home in this second period. CSU's killed off 41 seconds of the slashing penalty to Zachary Carleton. This faceoff comes back out into Texas territory. Barrett Ott, he played 15 games with Springfield in the North American Hockey League. As now this is played out wide to Drage, knifing around, circles the wagons. Finds Barrett Ott, who's the quarterback on this power play. Rink wide feet for Just. Centering pass on a deflection try for Alexander Furton. He didn't get enough of that, otherwise he had an empty net. Ott fakes the blast. Just getting downhill, a centering pass blocked by Prime Morales, and he will play this off the glass and out with now 10 minutes gone by in the second period, allowing the CSU penalty killers to get a line change. Stretch pass sends in Alden Morris, who's getting some power play time here, as he has the puck taken away from him by Aubrey Prime Morales. Prime Morales on the centering pass. It was behind Schmidt, and now it will trigger a counter punch for the University of Texas. Pierre finds a trailer. Wrist shot, stop, rebound, score! Braden Stevenson on the second opportunity after the first shot by Kunkel was stopped by Bartholomew. It's now 4-1 University of Texas, and that will count as a power play goal for the visitors. One for two now on the manpower advantage are the University of Texas Longhorns. Aiden Schmidt looking to try and get a response. Throws one on goal and a pad save by Reinhardt, and he gets a follow-up chance to reload. That didn't make it to the net. Lucas Robbins, 3-on-3 into the attack territory. Andrew Kungle with a long wrister, blocked down. Kind of took a bite out of Wilder Outman, but he's still able to play clear. Schmidt going one-on-one, curls and fires, and a block there by Matt Kolb to deflect it out of play with now 9 minutes to go in the middle period. CSU with an offensive zone draw. One back to the point for Outman. Elliott Kaplan there short-circuited on his first clearing attempt. His second one will make it back across the blue line, where Wilder Outman will stop and start, avoid a couple of forecheckers, and send CSU back in 2-on-2. Into space, there was Tyler Schans. The puck bounced over his stick. Tyler Kunkel was bracketed along the wall. Texas able to play clear once more. This is going to go for a whistle and an icing call. Against the Longhorns. We've played 11:35 of this second period. CSU back in the offensive zone, looking to get a response after the power play goal scored by Braden Stevenson, which has put the visiting Longhorns up by a score of 4-1. 4 guys in that scrum there. Emerging with it is Kirchner Slaw. Back into the middle. Kunkel unable to contain it, and so CSU forced to give up the zone again. Kunkel looping back through center, connecting the dots with Shawns. An outside wrist shot. Easy save there by Jesse Reinhardt. Another one comes to goal and a pad save. Sharp angle. Shawns there is carried to the glass by Landon Zhang. Played up off a glove of a Rams player, so now it'll trigger a foot race. Luke Hansen gets there first, but he's being double teamed. This one comes to Bartholomew, and he's had enough of that. So he'll melt it with 7:32 to go in the second period. Both teams keeping their last lines out there on the ice to start this next play. Sulkus will reverse the flow. It takes a weird bounce off the end boards. Hansen there to play it around to Sleds. Connor Sleds, poke check by Barrett Ott. And now a backhand chance on the front from Carleton, in the pad save by Reinhardt, as nobody took the body there on Zachary Carleton. He had a lane right to the net. Coming back out. Nate Sulkus will regroup. Connor Sleds ran into a pair of orange jerseys, and there's a penalty call coming against Texas. The signal is a hook from the referee, and so we'll see who the guilty party is. It appears to be Owen Just who gets the gate. CSU to their second power play opportunity of the game. They're 0 for 1 so far. They're looking for a chance to get themselves back in this one after giving up 3 unanswered at the end of the first and into the second period. Face-off won, but cleared right into the shin pads of Tyler Vaughn. He'll set up in power play formation. A little toe drag move there by O'Brien, not fooling Kungle there. So he will regather. O'Brien across to Vaughn. Touch passing across to Prime Morales. Long wrister on the side of the net, looking for a tip play there. Into the slot. They score! Jackson O'Brien off the centering pass. Had Jesse Reinhardt spinning like a top in his net. And the CSU power play does convert, making it a 4-2 game. Jackson O'Brien, before play started tonight, had 14 points in 17 games played for CSU. That will match his career high, which was 15 points in 26 games he played last season. Both teams back to full strength as Stevenson looking for another. Whistles one over the right shoulder of Caleb Bartholomew. He gets the puck back side of the net. A centering pass deflects off the side of the net, and Caleb Bartholomew will melt it. .6:03 to go in this second period. The Longhorns started the period with a 2-1 lead, but they've seen that grow to a 4-2 advantage now, as busting out of his own zone is Dennis White. Double teamed as he goes to the outside, looking for a centering pass. There was nobody home in a white jersey there. Jackson Cornett with his head up has a pass deflected onto the stick of Lucas Robbins. Badgered all the way by Denny White. Andrew Kungle pokes it down low, looking for the return feed there from Robbins. It didn't arrive. And so now Stevenson will collect. Given a bump by Dennis White, who will play this up and off the roof of the building in here, and so it will go for a whistle. And a face-off back inside CSU territory. With 5:24 to go, both teams setting up for another face-off. Aiden Schmidt lost a draw. A wrist shot from Furton was blocked. It's played clear. Icing's washed out. Barrett Ott is first on it. He's double-teamed into the slot. Tap passing for Schmidt. He scores! Aiden Schmidt with his second of the game, and CSU has made it a one-goal contest. Excellent forecheck by CSU all the way around. And CSU has made it a one-goal game again, now with just 5:08 to go in the middle period. Schmidt, who had 20 points for CSU last season, has a pair of goals tonight, one shorthanded, and that one at even strength. Charles Drage plays this indirectly and clear. Schmidt will regather. A rink-wide pass right on the stick of Landon Zhang. Zhang down low, right into the slot. Great save by Bartholomew as Ian Silverstein was cruising down on the back door, uncontested, and a great blocker save by the CSU netminder to keep it a one-goal score. Net comes off its moorings. We'll have a face-off in the CSU zone. 4:37 to go here in the second. A centering pass comes from Silverstein that goes off the back of the net. Cornette's there. So too is Dave Thiel. Up the boards, chopped by Schmidt, didn't get it out. Dredge into the slot for Just, had that poked away. Outman will reverse using the far side boards with the help of Thiel. We'll get it back to center, but only as far as center. Rewinding quickly, a saucer pass into the front goes through an orange jersey. Zhang on the regroup, and here come the Longhorns again. To the outside, it's Silverstein. All the way around. Kirchner-Slaw will play it back out to center. And Zhang will regroup again for Texas. Silverstein into the slot. Good defense there by Nate Bishop, who now starts to counterattack the other way for the Rams. Winds and fires, and he scores! They blew the whistle. It was offside. Outman thought he had a goal, but the whistle blew right before he took the shot, so the goal comes off the board. It stays 4-3 on the offside play. Nate Silkus using the near side boards. There's a collision there in the deep slot with Tyler Shans and Matt Kolb. Centering pass gets blocked. Shans will play this past Kolb, who was trying to hold the line. And Barrett Ott will glide back in on a rewind. Off the stick of Trevor Coffin. He's not going very far. CSU retreats. It goes right back to awaiting Barrett Ott. Matt Kolb's pass gets deflected, and it will be icing against the Longhorns. 2:43 to go in the second period. Face-off to come to the left of Jesse Reinhard. Play it back to the point. Luke Hansen's wrister is snapshot that gets blocked, but then his second chance gets rejected, and then he takes down Trevor Coffin, who was chasing after the loose puck, and that's going to draw a penalty CSU going to their third penalty kill of the evening on that play from Luke Hansen. Good hustle by Trevor Coffin to both block the shots and then the hustle to force to draw the penalty now. 2:35 to go in the middle stanza. 1 for 2 on the power play are the Longhorns, and they set up again here with Owen Just. Ott spins a pass to Drage, who already has one goal this evening on a give and go. He curls back to the outside. Ott for Just. Slot feed there down to a knee to block it was Vaughn. University of Texas maintains possession. Dredge, side of the net there for Silverstein. Little give and go. And that one's picked off. And now a counter punch opportunity, a shorthanded break chance for Zachary Carleton. His wrist shot's blocked. Connor Sledge is out there also to help with the forecheck for CSU, but they got to hurry back now. Long pass off the glove of Vaughn for Dredge from the sharp angle. He put it off the outside of the net. Charles Dredge will now set up in power play formation. 65 seconds left in that power play before Bartholomew makes a save on a long-range shot from Barrett Ott. CSU being aggressive on the penalty kill. We've seen them go up ice a couple of times with the puck while shorthanded. They do have one shorthanded tally to their credit thus far tonight. Good sprint to keep it in there by Dante Pierre, the second unit out there on the power play for the University of Texas. Wrist shot through traffic, stopped by Bartholomew. Fanned on at the first chance. Robbins backpedaling off the wall. Braden Stevenson, who has already scored in the second period. A wrist shot deflected just wide, right through the crease. It changed direction right in front of the CSU tender. Puck loose in the slot and golfed clear by Jared Barton, as there is a Texas Longhorn who's struggling to get back to his skates, and that's another goal scorer on tonight's game, Andrew Kungle. As this one floats to the front, off the stick of Robbins, it was blocked by Sleds, who will, in the same motion, clear it back out to center. 6 seconds to go in the minor penalty to Lucas Hansen. CSU about to get back to full strength. 35 seconds to go in the period. Dante Pierre accelerates down the outside. Gets his head up as he gets south of the goal line. Ran into a triple team there, and CSU will now escape. Back to even strength are they, and skating back with power and authority is Jackson O'Brien to the outside. A wrister sticked aside by Reinhard, coming from White. Another centering pass kept in at the line for the moment by CSU, and now a look at a chance the other way for Dante Pierre. 2-on-1 with 6 seconds to go. Pierre lost his balance. He was helped a little bit there by Hansen. As time expires in the second period, it stays 4-3 at the end of 2. CSU went down 4-1 early in the second period, but they've had the last 2 on the board to make it a 4-3 hockey game. We'll get you back for some intermission festivities here in just a moment. You're watching the Big Mountain Hockey Classic here, presented by the ACHA on Price Productions. Second intermission here at the Big Mountain Hockey Classic's first game of the weekend here between the CSU Rams and the University of Texas Longhorns. Dale Genther here. CSU trailing 4-3 at the end of 40 minutes. Both teams exchanging a pair of goals in that second period. Started with Andrew Kungle, number 17, getting his second of the game on the power play, followed up by Braden Stevenson tacking it on to make it a 4-1 lead for the visitors, but the CSU Rams will respond with a power play of their own, compliments of Jackson O'Brien, followed by an even strength tally from Aiden Schmidt, which would be his second of the game. And that has you all caught up through 40 minutes, going after the goals scored in the first period. Andrew Kungle for Texas, Aiden Schmidt for CSU, and then another one from Charles Drage in the first period, all three of those coming back in the opening 20 minutes. That should have you all caught up in somewhat of a roundabout order. Both teams getting ready to take the ice here at the end of the second period. Both teams getting a lot of ice time here for both experienced as well as new players on the ice, and in particular a couple of brand new arrivals on the University of Texas side. Alden Morris and Zach London. I've been calling him Zay all game because the way his name was written on my sheet here made it look like his third letter of his name was an E, so I apologize. So Zach and Alden making their University of Texas debuts last night. Spoke with a gentleman from the crowd here. Kind of gave me a little bit of backstory on them. They're roommates. They traveled together for the Texas Tigers for a couple seasons. They went to nationals twice before coming out here to play for Division II University of Texas here tonight. So good story for them. Another one of the reasons why you want to tune into these games is to see new people getting their experience, getting more and more involvement, and that's kind of what this Big Mountain Hockey Classic is all about, raising awareness for local college and junior level hockey, for both teams to raise awareness and get more involvement from the community, and it's a great thing to see from both sides. Both teams are making their way back to their respective benches here just in time for the start of the second. Like we talked about earlier, CSU has the last two goals on the board with some momentum heading into this third period. Caleb Bartholomew staying put in net. He's played solidly for the Rams. Ditto can be said of Jesse Reinhardt for University of Texas when he's been called upon. Officiating crew having to get themselves together. Both teams will start the third period at even and full strength. No carryover penalties nor power plays of which to speak. To begin the final 20 minutes of regulation, both teams' set of five guys are out there. Jackson O'Brien will lean into this draw against Dante Pierre. And we are set to go for the start of the third period. Barrett Ott retrieves the puck in his own zone. D-to-D pass with Elliot Kaplan, looking rink wide for Andrew Kungle. Has a pair of goals for himself tonight. Bartholomew lets that come through and past Tyler Vaughn. Being met there by Stevenson. A long wrister floats wide of the cage. Jared Barton unable to get it clear on the first chance. Stevenson backpedals and fires, and a pad save by Bartholomew. Four-man board battle there along the wall. Barton comes away with it. A saucer pass that's behind Denny White. Comes all the way back through to point position and back out to center, where it's gathered in by Wilder Outman. Wilder Outman had a goal called back in the second period due to being offsides. Not by a review, but just by a whistle that just wasn't heard in the heat of play. Barrett accelerates into a backhand. A centering pass is deflected away by Outman. Fresh off the bench comes Ian Silverstein. Around for Charles Drage. Has a goal, a backhand pass into the slot right to a waiting CSU defender. As Outman ran into some friendly fire there. Jackson Cornett will use the wall to get it back to center, where Matt Kolb will dump it right back in. Cornett stopping and starting away from Drage, who made the strip. A sharp angle bid from Owen Just goes off the outside of the cage and wide. Drage keeps it down low for Owen. Right back to Drage. Everything south of the goal line here. Two-man game for Just. From the sharp angle, activating from the point was Lucas Robbins. His shot was blocked. Stick tied up there from Drage, and then CSU able just to nudge this back to center, where Aiden Schmidt will go one-on-one into a counterattack. Schmidt drags it to his backhand, right to the net, and he lost the handle as he made its way to the crease. Aiden Schmidt also a multi-goal getter in this hockey game. A centering pass, great save, no, they score! Aubrey Prime Morales, in his first game with the Rams, has tied the game at 4. A hard work play in front of the net. It was set up by Aiden Schmidt. Will be his 3rd point of the game for him. And Aubrey Prime Morales, his first goal with the Rams, is the equalizer here with 17:38 to go in the 3rd period. Lucas Hansen, after this puck was fenced out of the air, takes his man to the glass heavily. Then he dumped Landon Zeng. The physicality intensifies now. CSU feels the momentum now after getting the tying tally, after being down 4-1 in the 2nd period. In the slot, Kunkel, centering pass, clicks out to the point for Hansen. One-timer coming from Sulkis goes way wide. A spinning pass is intercepted by Barrett Ott and played clear. Right back to Ott, who will relieve the pressure with Zhang. He didn't get it clear. Slaw from the angle had his wrister deflected up and way off the playing surface. If you're just now jumping on board, 3:15 into the 3rd period, you've seen CSU come all the way back from a 4-1 deficit here against the University of Texas. Braden Stevenson finds Pierre into space. Andrew Kunkel with a wrister, eaten up there from the sharp angle by Bartholomew with no rebound. Stevenson wins this draw away from Zachary Carleton. He passed it up. It went out of the zone there off the stick of Elliott Kaplan. It's a whistle for an offside, and now some pushing and shoving in front of the crease between Stevenson and Carleton, the two centermen on that last faceoff. And they'll do it again right in front of the Rams bench. Played in deep by Kaplan. Easy routine stop there for Bartholomew. Picking up speed out of his own zone is Heckerson. Regathered by Carleton. Carleton chips it ahead. Into space, there's Thiel. A slap shot doesn't make it all the way through to Reinhardt. Stevenson given a shove by Carleton. Now Sleds lost a puck on the curl and drag. Now back the other way, 2-on-2 counterattack for Matt Kolb and the Longhorns. His wrist shot into the skates of Heckerson. Rink-wide feed off the stick of Sleds. He'll go in after it. Takes his man to the boards. A centering pass clicks off a skate and back behind the net. Carleton for Sleds. Centering pass clicks off a skate, and it was right in the crease there. Guided to safety by Zhang. 2-on-2 in this board battle, played up the wall. Carleton with a slapper off of Reinhardt. There's a rebound there, but he dove on top of it for a whistle. 4:48 gone by in the third. CSU's come out of the gate and tied the game at 4. And they've had a bit of an extra step to their skating here in this final frame. Cornett's pass off the faceoff gets deflected up into the safety netting here on the near side of the rink. And so we will have another draw right here to the right of Reinhardt. Played up the wing. On the accelerator, this is Brandon Kunkel. A sliding defensive play is made by Wilder Outman. No penalty call. Play continues. Outman lost a puck. It was played clear by Ott. Fencing forward in the neutral zone there. It comes away to Zach London. This one comes off of Bartholomew, pawed at by the Rams, but still not out. Brandon Kunkel lost control of the puck, seeing CSU play clear with Denny White. And now the puck is touched up. There's the door came out right in front of us here, underneath, but beneath us here on the second level. As Zach London fell into the door, he actually knocked the door loose and fell through it. So an immediate whistle there after a bit of a malfunction. Barrett Ott smoothly skating into the zone, gets wide, centering pass off a couple of skates and wide of Bartholomew. Now comes back out the short side for Ott once more. Barrett Ott dipping below the goal line. A backhand pass through the crease, comes all the way through. Drage, skip a man, back to Ott. All the way back around for Ian Silverstein. Silverstein for Drage, cutting away from Schmidt. Silverstein regathers. Little saucer on that pass, not getting through Dave Thiel. It goes back out to center. Hatcheted back in. Texas right back on the counterattack. Jackson O'Brien, sorry, that is Aubrey Prime Morales, who has the tying goal here in the third, coughed it up. Backside, score! Off the turnover. Drage to Silverstein, and the University of Texas retakes the lead. It's 5-4. A turnover in the slot by the Rams with nobody home in front of Caleb Bartholomew. Left him out to dry. And it's a 5 spot for the Longhorns. CSU again finds themselves trailing with now 13 and a half to go in regulation. Alden Morris chips it along. Streaking back to go get it, there is Tyler Vaughn. He'll reverse the flow. Picked up by Heckerson. He'll use the net for some leverage. And outlet now from his own zone. Playing it back to Tyler Vaughn. Heckerson and Vaughn play catch. Vaughn for Slaw. On target for Tyler Shawns. Drop it back to Heckerson. Heckerson's pass thieved, and that triggers a counterpunch for Furton and the Longhorns. As going out wide, a lateral move there by Alden Morris threw his teammate offside, and he was given a rough ride into the glass, as well as putting his teammate off sides. 12:32 to go in the third. CSU looking again to come back from another deficit. The third time the Longhorns have taken the lead in this game. Most recently on the board is Ian Silverstein from Charles Drage. Charles Drage with a multi-point game tonight. He had a goal back in the first. On the overlap is Braden Stevenson, who scored in the second. A touch pass into the slot. A centering pass from Pierre goes unanswered. Now Connor Sledge looking to respond the other way. Little drag move to the outside, not fooling Barrett Ott. Chip past by Pierre. He makes a move. He's got a 2-on-1 and a good defensive play by Jackson Cornett to make sure that pass didn't get through to Stevenson. Andrew Kungle down low. Centering pass coming out from Stevenson. Goes all the way to the point position. Landon Zengsrister hit a shin pad in front. Barrett Ott circles. Walking the line. Stepping in from point position. To his backhand. Going for a lap through the offensive zone. A backhand shot from Kungle goes wide. On the far side, it's gathered by Carleton and played back out to center. CSU with a chance to regroup. Wilder Outman from his own zone drags it away from Dante Pierre. A pass into space off a couple of CSU Rams, and now triggers another counterpunch for Pierre, who is given a sturdy hip check there by Carleton, who is now in a wrestling match, and there's a penalty going to be called. It looks like they're at least going to get Pierre, who had this. I think he and Wilder Outman ended up with each other's sticks by the end of that little fracas. And both penalty box doors have opened. Nate Sulkus is in the box for CSU. And Dante Pierre for the Longhorns. Both referees and the linesmen are going to get together and sort this out. 11:03 to go in the third period. University of Texas up 5-4. A third period goal from Ian Silberstein has given the visitors the lead. In the first and only game that Texas will be playing in this building. There'll be a Promenade Ice Center tomorrow to take on Michigan State University. And then they'll have a pair of games at the Greeley Ice House on Sunday against Bowling Green State University, and then Weber State University on Sunday and Monday, respectively. CSU, meanwhile, might as well get cozy here at the Epic Ice Arena. All four of their games in this Big Mountain Hockey Classic are going to be here at Epic Ice Center. Tonight against the Longhorns, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. local time against Dakota College, Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. against Boise State University, and then Monday afternoon at the University of Cincinnati. Both teams skating 4-on-4 here. Both Nate Sulkus and Dante Pierre given 2-minute roughing penalties, as this is placed back behind the cage by Tyler Vaughn. Overskated by the Rams, and now Texas looking to counterattack. Caleb Bartholomew gets out of his net to play that there, and he missed a white jersey, so it'll go for icing against the Rams. .30 seconds gone by in the 4-on-4, the coincidental roughing minors. Faceoff comes way past Elliott Kaplan. He'll have to go back and retrieve it inside of his own territory. Kaplan, who has 6 points in 21 games for the Longhorns this season, outlets this to Silberstein with a lane down the left wing. Plays one off of Kungle and wide. It was deflected past Bartholomew. Now with a little bit of open space is O'Brien being harassed all the way by Lucas Robbins, a weak wrister. No troubles there for Reinhardt. Robbins again will poke this back to center where Andrew Kungle will collect. And retraces steps back through neutral. Kungle has a 2-on-2 to the outside, a wrister. Good stick on puck there from Outman to deflect that out of play. We've crossed the midway mark of this third period now. 9:45 to go. Now just 42 seconds left in the penalties to Sulkus and Pierre. Referees making sure both the net over here behind Caleb Bartholomew is securely fastened. As Outman makes his way through the neutral zone, working his way wide against Ott. Now he stops up. Spots O'Brien on the cycle, the high cycle, into the slot for Schmidt. Aiden Schmidt curls a pass to the front, looking for O'Brien there. It was well defended by the Longhorns. Jackson Cornett keeping the play alive down below the goal line. O'Brien there in with Cornett. Slot feed, and a wrister is stopped by Reinhardt, and then the rebound is flung up off the safety netting off the glass for a whistle. Another whistle. Face-off control belongs to Texas. Barrett Ott fanned on his first clearing attempt, and so he'll start again, and then went down to his knees. As both teams go back to full and even strength, Charles Drage knifing to the outside, a centering pass surrounded by white jerseys. As now that was Owen Just trying to lay a hit. He actually ended up taking the worst of that as he crashed into the end boards. This pass comes all the way through and down. It'll be icing against the Longhorns. Time's a wasting here in the third. 8:38 to go. CSU putting the line out there of Slaw, Shans, and Kunkel out there. Played back clear by Ott. Revolving back through center. Off the stick of Kunkel. And then off his skates. And now it's picked up by Owen Just. A potential 3-on-2. Just curls a pass to the slot. Drage on the backhand. Curls one again. Looking for the slot there. That was intercepted by Heckerson. Played all the way down. Regathered by Kaplan. Long stretch bounces off of Drage's stick. Overskated by two Rams. And now Silverstein has a chance to enter. He curls and fires. Down to a knee there to block that was Vaughn. And then it's played back out to center by the Rams and Tyler Kunkel. Hackerson out of his own zone. Ends up bouncing over to Kunkel, or to Vaughn, excuse me. Off the stick of Slaw. Captured by Dante Pierre. And lofted in by Andrew Kunkel. Or Kungle, pardon me. Kunkel and Kungle. You're trying to confuse me as best you can here in the broadcast booth. Trying to get these guys' names right. The Longhorns tag up. And Chase Heckerson will reset from out of his own zone. Heckerson on through the stick of Sleds. It has to be guided to safety by Reinhardt. That was on goal, so there's no icing. One of the newcomers, Zach London, plays it out only as far as Nate Sulkis, who will play it right back in deep. Dante Pierre escaping the pressure coming from Jacob Zier, pardon me. Off the stick of Sleds. Captured there by Lucas Robbins. And played back to center. London in a tussle there at center. A poke check here from Carleton. Carleton walks in and fires a shoulder save by Reinhardt. And he made sure there was no rebound on that play because Carleton had a head of steam coming down the left wing. .606 to go in regulation. A pass in the slot. It was just jammed wide by Heckerson, who jumped in from point position to try and tie this game up. Loose puck comes all the way through, and Hansen wins the foot race. It'll be icing against the University of Texas. Now with 5:52 to go in regulation. Time has become the enemy of the home team here. The CSU Rams looking to tie this game for a third time tonight. At one point, they were down 4-1. They came back and tied the game at 4 early in the third period, only to see Ian Silverstein retake the lead for the Longhorns. Matthew Kolb working in tandem with Barrett Ott this trip. Ott with his head up behind his own net, looking for a play to develop. Ott still surveying. Plays this one on through Alden Morris. Touched up there so there's no icing. All the way on through, and a touch pass onto the stick of Jared Barton. Barton floats it back across. Long wrist shot paddled aside by Reinhardt. Deep in the slot. Another wrister gets blocked before it makes its way to the net. And the rebound will chase CSU back into neutral territory. Wilder Outman, who will play it for Jackson O'Brien. He's at the end of his shift. He'll just place this one in on goal and go for a change. Silverstein's rink-wide pass onto the stick of Charles Drage. Finds the angle, and a good stick there by Bartholomew. Blocks the pass from coming to the slot. Silverstein puts the body there on Prime Morales, who had the tying goal for CSU. This is his first game with the Rams. He had the game tying goal early in the third period. Again, only to see Silverstein and the Longhorns answer almost immediately. We drift below 4:10 to go here in the third. That outlet pass went off the stick of Dave Thiel. Comes on through as a touch on the way there by Drage, so icing is washed out. Chase Heckerson lost it there on the reverse. Silverstein keeps it in the offensive territory for the Longhorns. Heckerson to try it again. He's perched behind Caleb Bartholomew. Aiden Schmidt weaving his way into the offensive zone. Poke check there at the attack territory line by Lucas Robbins. Spinning a pass is Nate Sulkus. He with Luke Hansen on defense this time. Hansen gains the center stripe and places one right on the pad of Reinhardt. Robbins ducking behind the cage with Ott. Goes the length of the ice. It's delayed icing, now whistled, even though Bartholomew went out to play the puck. It seemed to me that Dante Pierre was going to win the foot race on that. It looks like the linesman is going to bring this back to center. Both teams are lined up in the face-off dot to the left of Jesse Reinhardt. Referee's still conferring on where to put this face-off. And it does look like it's going to end up back in Reinhardt's neighborhood. Tyler Shawns for the draw for CSU. Lost that one to Pierre. Up the wall for Kungle and out. This triggers a potential 2-on-1. Dante Pierre with Stevenson. Dante fakes, and he was relieved of the puck at the last moment by Sulkus. And he, along with Kirchner Slaw, will make their way back into the attack territory not before being poke checked by Slaw again. Cornett will use the net for some leverage for Kirchner Slaw. A pass off the toe of the blade of Tyler Shawns. This will go for icing against CSU. He hadn't quite crossed the red line by the time he touched the puck. And so the icing will come. And we will have a face-off to the left of Caleb Bartholomew. Only 2:31 to go in the third period. We'll see if and when Coach Doug Sheridan will lift him for an extra skater should the Rams get an opportunity. Down by 1 here in the third period. Jockeying forward and coming away with it is Alexander Furton. He lost the puck as he moved to the slot. Cornett keeps it along the wall. Placed back down low by Brandon Kungle. Cornett again will use this side and still not get it out. Brandon Kungle again doing the job holding the line. Luke Hansen with a little head fake. He fanned on his pass, but it works out the same for the Rams. Gaining the center stripe and dumping it in was Tyler Shawns. For the moment, Bartholomew stays put in his net, but now the Longhorns have iced it with 1:53 to go. Bartholomew looking for instructions from the bench. As for when to vacate the net, he stays put for now. So we still skate 5-on-5. Jackson O'Brien on the faceoff. Sees this one back to Barrett Ott, and he will breeze back through center. Barrett Ott hits the brakes into the space for Drage, and is stopped by Bartholomew. 100 seconds to go in regulation. Get up and go now, it's Dennis White. Right into the heart of the Longhorn defense, and he was stripped of the puck. Drage lobs a pass, gloved down by Outman, and he will start back up the other way with O'Brien. O'Brien to the outside, his backhand pass to the front. Not going to get through to its intended target. That was Jared Barton who was knocking on the door. Owen Just will just place this back behind Bartholomew. He keeps it moving for Vaughn. Outman now with a minute to go in the third period. Bartholomew looking for instructions from the bench once more. Tyler Vaughn stopping and starting, gains the center stripe. Now Bartholomew is making his way to the net. He still wasn't given the green light as Reinhardt makes a cover-up for a whistle. 48.4 seconds to go. Now Caleb Bartholomew has made his way to the CSU bench. Six on 5 for the guys in white. Tie up off the draw, gathered back. Wrister on the way from Vaughn. It was high and wide. Aubrey Prime Morales, who has the last goal on the board for CSU, lays the body out there. Dante Pierre unable to get it out at the first chance. Stopping and starting away from traffic is Vaughn. Schmidt fires. Stopped there by Reinhardt, and he'll squeeze with 25.7 to go. Not only would that have been a tying goal, that would have been a hat trick for Aiden Schmidt. Had a shorthanded tally in the first and an even strength marker in the second. Both teams getting their line combinations configured here in the final 25 seconds of the third. Tie up off the draw, controlled by Barrett Ott. Barrett Ott flings this one all the way at the net, goes off a glove and wide, so there's no icing. Heckerson now with 12 seconds to go. One last chance here for the Rams. Into space, O'Brien to the outside, lets it go. A good stick on puck there by Kolb. Chopped at by Ott, tied up in the corner. A heavy hit there at the conclusion, and that's going to do it. University of Texas and the Longhorns will walk away a 5-4 winner here at the Epic Ice Arena at the expense of the CSU Rams to conclude the first night of the Big Mountain Hockey Classic. Both teams fought valiantly in the third period. The game-winning goal coming off the stick of Ian Silberstein on a turnover and a feed from Charles Drage. And now both teams are going to go through the ceremonious handshake line. This is the last time these two teams will see each other this weekend. So, exchanging pleasantries at the end of regulation. Great game all around. Both teams play with a lot of intensity, a lot of pace and passion through all 60 minutes there. As we are just about set to conclude. This has been a presentation of Price Productions. The ACHA's Big Mountain Hockey Classic concludes with a 5-4 final in favor of the University of Texas Longhorns. For all of our production crew making me sound good here up in the booth, this is Dale Genthner signing off. Have a wonderful night.